Utah Valley shows Air Force the door. They are out of the WNIT tournament. Falcons had a chance to host, but the Wolverines came in and stole the chance from them. 70-64. Utah Valley gets the win. Brian German alongside Gene Parker, and boy, Utah Valley just turned it on second quarter. Never turned it off the rest of the game.
Yeah, they never look back. And again, they're very, very well coached, very well disciplined. So they just stuck to those fundamentals. Hey, we're taller than them. We know we can shoot, and we can drive in pretty hard. And also their defense, I was very impressed. At times it looked like there were 6 girls out there, and they were just smothering the Falcons.
They certainly were. And then you mentioned that Utah Valley, a longer team, a taller team, and they certainly used that to their advantage in this basketball game. And 2 of those taller and longer players really did it for them. But let's take a look at the statistics from this basketball game. And Air Force just didn't shoot the ball well. They had a rough time putting the ball in the basket tonight, and the rebounds really in favor of the Wolverines.
Yeah, rebounds really hurt them. They still forced 17 turnovers by the Wolverines, so they're doing their job on the defensive end, but they just couldn't string together really great offensive possessions. We saw flashes of it, especially in the first quarter, and then down the stretch in the fourth quarter, excuse me. They were trying to claw their way back, but they just did not have enough time. Made
a big deal coming into this game about how Utah Valley forces turnovers. They force teams into 24 turnovers. Air Force just had 4 turnovers tonight, but unfortunately couldn't put the ball in the basket. And we mentioned some of those tall players for Utah Valley, and they were the ones that did the damage tonight. Hallie Nelson, 14 points on 5 of 10 shooting, and I think every single one of them was in the paint.
Yeah, every single one of them in the paint. And just look at these angles. She's working early. She's working 2-3 passes before she even gets a look. And that's what makes her so dangerous. And then you have the outside shooting was phenomenal by Utah Valley as well. And just so many different ways they were scoring throughout the game.
Talia White led the way with 15 points. Jo Hunnemer, though, hats off to Jo in her final game for the Air Force Falcons. What a great player Jo Hunnemer is, the steal and the score there, and she had 3 assists tonight. It's an Air Force record, 150 assists for the season, and she is 6th in the country in assist-to-turnover ratio.
And that just shows what kind of a player she is. She's just looking for everybody else. You're constantly saying, Jo, shoot more, you can shoot, but that's just not the way that she's wired, and gosh, some of those passes are real pretty.
For Madison Smith, she had a good game as well, 7 of 16 from the floor, 20 points in her final game wearing the Air Force blue. Madison Smith ends her career with 1,305 points, which I think doubles the output of Gene Parker. Sorry, just saying that, but
100% does.
Hats off to Jo Hunnemer and Madison Smith as they close out this final season for the Air Force Falcons. The Falcons fall to 18-15 on the year, but they did get postseason play, and you just love seeing 2 seniors being able to end with an embrace at the end of the season, Gene.
And the career postseason tournament at home, that's really special. Not a lot of players get to do it. I know it didn't go their way, but that's a pretty cool thing to say, and most likely embracing one of your best friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not going to cry on the air, but believe me, there's tears inside here because we will not see Madison Smith and Jo Hunnemer again. So hats off, ladies. They're going to have great careers in the United States Air Force. That'll do it for us. Thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed our broadcast here on the Mountain West Network. But Utah Valley comes in and defeats the Air Force Falcons 70-64. The Falcons season is over. Utah Valley Wolverines headed to Washington State to take on the Cougars in the second round. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next year for more Air Force basketball.